another show all about your Cincinnati FEAR. Lauren Artino here with Tim David, and we want to start right off the bat with our League of Legends team. I'm going to let Tim take that over. They had some big competition this week.
They did. So our semifinals game performed extremely well. They won it against Team Pending, and then into the finals we versed 100 Thieves next. Unfortunately, we were only able to get second place, but we're extremely proud of our coaches, players, and staff. They did a phenomenal job all season.
We love that. Tim, first I think we've got a rundown of exactly what happened with Tim taking you through that, and then we are going to chat with our first signed player that we introduced you guys to a few weeks ago, Stephen Schmidt. Take a listen.
The Cincinnati FEAR made their first ever League of Legends semifinals appearance Monday night. The FEAR would face off against Team Pending, a group of players who have found success in the collegiate League of Legends season in a best-of-3 series. In Game 1, Trickster on Talia and Blaze on Yone, they led the team with their aggressive positioning and teamfight skill. The FEAR would dominate all sides of the map with a 15 kill difference and a 13,000 gold differential. Cincinnati FEAR would take Game 1.
Of this fight. It's an unfortunate stance, but he goes back in, gets rooted in response by Sketch, who ends up using that heal to keep members alive. It's a nice berserk on the back line, but it's too little too late because Blaze was able to get his ultimate off and stay out of range. He's going to flash forward, continue the damage, and it's a huge shutdown, at least taking Trickster out of the fight, but Cincinnati FEAR coming out ahead, able to end the game here and now.
Game 2 would start with a confident draft, grabbing Dragoon, his signature champion, Darius. It would be a slow start for all sides, with First Blood not coming until 11 minutes into the game with a Trickster gank down bot lane. However, the top side of the map was not able to sustain a lead and went even with the Death Knight, Mage, Warrior Tank, Ornn. The bot side also struggled to hold a steady lead after Trickster's appearance and would fall behind to Team Pending's bot lane. All in all, it would be too much of a gap and Cincinnati FEAR would fall. Team Pending take Game 2. Game 3 would see Cincinnati FEAR's bot lane struggle in the early game, not able to get the resources they needed. A pivot in the mid game would see Cincinnati FEAR as a whole mount a lead, with Trickster, Blaze, and Dragoon stabilizing the game. The team would gather around Baron for a pivotal team fight, which would accelerate Sketch into the carry he was meant to be.
Front of this fight, but a huge ultimate to come out of Sketch is a big amount of damage. Blaze on top of it finds the triple kill. They get the slowdown on Robbie Bob, who has to use the package away. Topo gonna go down to Sketch, and that's an excited Jinx, meaning you are not gonna stay alive for very long. It's the super mega death rocket. It's the double kill, and it is the cleanest ace you have ever seen.
Cincinnati FEAR would go on to win Game 3 and move on to Grand Finals of the Proving Ground circuit against 100 Thieves.
Impressive, but you mentioned every single team you'll go in with the plan for, and tomorrow you facing 100 Thieves. How you feeling about that? You ready?
Yeah, 100 Thieves this time around. Definitely, losing Insanity is a big part of them. He's worked in LCS before. So I think this time around it should be a lot easier. I don't think they're probably the best opponents in here, but I could see us taking it for sure.
The Grand Finals were set with the Cincinnati FEAR versus the 100 Thieves. Both teams had players that were familiar with the final stage. 100 Thieves won a Proving Ground circuit qualifier last year, and 3 members of the Cincinnati FEAR also had been part of a championship team. Game 1 would swing leads throughout the early game and into the mid game. A pivotal moment for the Cincinnati FEAR was over the Rift Herald, where Dragoon, Blaze, and Plux would come out victorious against 100 Thieves. However, the next Dragon fight would have both teams thinking they're setting a trap. It would be 100 Thieves that would prove that they had the better plan. 100 Thieves would take Game 1. Game 2 was truly tragic. None of the ganks, skirmishes, or outplays went the FEAR's way. 100 Thieves simply outperformed in Game 2 and would deliver one of the largest deficits the FEAR had seen all tournament. 100 Thieves wins Game 2. Game 3, the FEAR showed a different draft of champions to try a different approach, putting Sketch on the carry, Dragoon on the front line, and Trickster taking away the Wukong. The FEAR showed promise with dives in the bot lane and in the top lane that provided them with advantages. However, a top lane skirmish, which would then end up resulting in an all-out team fight, Dark Wings would come out on top with a bag full of gold. This would snowball until the FEAR could no longer hold on and fall to 100 Thieves. Cincinnati FEAR would lose Grand Finals 0-3.
Desperation fight here. They're going to be able to do one. Looking for 2, but Fnatic is on the resets, and I think that has got to be it soon.
Question is, though, what is next for maybe you as a team or maybe you as a player?
I think Cincy FEAR is, you know, we're staying all together, of course, to the next OQ. This result was not the worst, you know. Obviously, we wanted to win the OQ. We're looking towards the next one. And in the end, you know, PG is what really gets the eyes of all the scouts and academy coaches and stuff like that. So that's the biggest goal we have. Just gonna keep improving, keep the train going.
This is my house, specifically the basement. This is where I live. This is my computer setup, so any computer game I play, anything I'm talking to people over Discord, whenever I'm playing, practicing seriously, it's always in here. Yeah, so Cost, it's a traditional Ohio tournament. This is the biggest it's ever been. It's been a growing grassroots event. Yeah, I went up there. It was a decent event for me. I wanted to do better than I did. I survived getting upset very, very early, so I guess part of me is just relieved that I didn't lose earlier than I did. But I also did want to go further. I had a really close set with a top 50 player in the world. Was just one hit away from getting the last stock, but it was a good event. I had a lot of fun, and I'm very motivated to learn a lot. I think it was also the last event of the PR season, so I think Ohio is officially going to have a ranking that's coming out in the next few weeks, and I think I secured my #1 spot. It's a little contentious. It's weird because there's a lot of people it could be, and I'm very excited to see if I actually got the #1 spot in Ohio. It would be the first time I've officially been ranked that. In general, it's really, really hard, especially when you take this game really seriously. You know, it's like kind of like your life, everything. It's like every event, it feels like it has to be the one. I think one thing I learned after SOS, which was like the big tournament I did win, is that there's just always just another event. I think, like, cause I win that one, right? And it's like, I feel like I'm on top of the world, but next week there's another event and maybe I don't win that one. I think after SOS was like 2 weeks after and I didn't win that one. And I was like, okay, well, that means I still have things to learn. Is that I don't like end at the top. I have to stay up there. And I have to keep working on it. And I think it helps knowing that I won a really big tournament like that because it makes me feel like I don't have to. You know, like the pressure's off. I don't have to do it for a first time. At this point, it's something that should be familiar to me if I do it again. And I want to do it again. So if I want to do that, I have to keep putting in the work and just know that there's always another event. Next week, I'm probably going to a tournament in Dayton. There's a chance I go to a tournament in Chicago instead. I have a friend who's offering housing up there. It's going to be a bigger event in Chicago. My July is actually looking decently open right now, but I might go to a regional event like Illinois, I believe, on the first weekend of July. And I know there's a Kentucky event in Eastern Kentucky near the end of the month, and there's a Cleveland event somewhere around the middle of it. But I'm pretty sure there's like 2 weeks that are still open, so I'll be looking out for those. And I know August is going to be the really, really big month for me because there's 2 different super majors that I have lined up in August. One in Virginia, that's that one's SmashCon. And then there's going to be Shine, which is also like I think 2 weeks after that, which is in Boston.
With esports, there's so many kids like video games. So to have this space where they could interact with their peers in like a fun, safe environment, I think is really important. I started the esports club, I think 4 or 5 years ago, and it got to the point where I was having 100+ kids, which is crazy busy. So clearly, you know, the kids are really interested in this. So then 2 years ago, we started like playing competitively. I mean, esports is a growing market. Like it absolutely is. And if we can get, you know, these students to start playing these games young and start learning this, that absolutely can turn into a scholarship when they get into college, and it could really help them in their future.
Well, it makes me feel a little more happy about my habits, to say the least, that I'm actually doing something with how much I spend on time on video games. And that's it, just that and being able to, just it, saying I'm good.
Like 21st century skills, which is something that we try to push and, you know, have kids learn. You learn all that in video games. You're collaborating with your peers, using your critical thinking skills. You're communicating with a team as you're playing. So yeah, I think this is really important.
Big decision making, because like you have to decide what move to use at what time, because timing is basically everything, and you have to memorize your main's move sets, and you have to memorize a lot of stuff, as well as watching your opponents and stuff to seeing what they do and predicting their moments. So that is So it has a lot of decision making to see like what you can do to counter their move and what you think they're gonna do.
I know every year we learn something new. So yeah, and I think every year we're growing. I'm learning new things on how to run the program every year. So I'm hoping next season we could start streaming, which I think will be a big step in getting the players out there.
We will be feared. We will be feared.
Bottoming out. Yep. As is. And Mecca will get it.
Able to flick it hide.
And here's Wave. And they are going to punch their ticket in.
Guys, I'm not even going to say I hope you enjoyed the show because we know you enjoyed this show. We've got a new introduction for you coming up next week, new signing. We're going to leave that a little mystery for now. You'll meet them again next Thursday. And Tim, as far as league play, what do we got going on?
Next Monday, starting right back up, another Proving Ground qualifier. And that'll lead us into July, and we'll run it back, get first place this time.
I love it. Tim, thanks so much. Guys, thanks again for joining us. We will see you right here next week.
Yeah.